Hello and welcome back to Inner Peace Place. I'm Karen. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today our topic is the overwhelming negative thoughts or feelings that you may have pop up. Some of us have a pretty big history with those, and other people have them once in a while. There's no one way that people interact with this. So basically what we're looking at is how do you and I, that's the beauty of all this, is that how do you and I take what we know today from our past experiences, our habits, and how do we blend those with guidance from the all that is in a moment-to-moment type of manner. That's what we're working on. Because we all have situations that pop up in our heads. We all have downward spiral thoughts. That's what I like to call them. The downward spiral thoughts, the upward spiral thoughts are all coming from the same space. It's in our head. It's not in this moment. It's always in our head from the past. We can be thinking about something coming up and we're throwing negative energy into it and worry, etc. Or we can be remembering something that we did or didn't do in our past. So they really have the same place, even if good or bad. They're coming from the same space. Our attachment to those thoughts isn't the thought, it's the energy behind the thought. And it's the intensity of the energy behind the thought that's attractive to us. And you may not realize that you are attracted to that. You're like, oh no, I don't like this, so why would I be doing it on purpose? And it's not that you're doing it on purpose, it's that it is a habit that you had years ago, and you started it years ago, maybe even when you were very young. And so it's just a part of who you are now. There isn't a way to separate it from, oh, I started it on this day. It's just part of your personality self and ego's habitual dealing with life. The part of you that enjoys that rush of that negative feeling. It is true. You can't run away from that. It is who you are. So what we're trying to do is say, okay, and now that I realize that, what can I do about it? That's where we are today. The thoughts that you're having that are negative, or the feelings that you're having, are housed in a space of the non-real. That's what I like to call it. It isn't an actual. It's not real. And so we want to figure out why we have the thoughts and what can we do with them. I feel that it's more productive to look at how you are attracted to the energy of the situation that you keep thinking about, rather than the actual content of the situation. That way you're getting to the meat of it. Because really, you could change the situation and have the same energy behind it. You could fill in the blank, so to speak, and change it up where this is terrible thing is what you're thinking about that you did. But I'm sure you could find another terrible thing that'll give you that same rush, make you feel bad about yourself. So look at the energy behind what you're thinking about, not the actual content. So what we do with this work is we sit down, we pull up something we want to work on or play with, and take a deep breath and relax. Maybe a couple of deep breaths if the topic is pretty powerful for you. And refresh your connection to the all that is. Find that source that is bigger than yourself and ask for assistance in clarity of thought about what's going on. Why do I have this habit? Or what is promoting this? What is attracting me to have this habit that brings me down in the middle of the night or whenever it is? So you sit down, you relax, you call in your guidance, and Pull up those thoughts. Pull up one thought. Don't do a whole slew of them at the same time. Just grab one and figure out, where is it? Where does it feel? Where does it bother you the most? Your heart center, your solar plexus, your stomach, your head. Try to figure out what part of you is playing with this. Where's the tentacle? The tentacle of energy that's grabbing your attention. Then you can find where the tentacle is coming from, or that energy, and play with that space. You're relaxed, you're not judging it, and you sit and you expand upward flowing energy into that space. Expand it out. Take a deep breath, relax, play with it, see if you can find it. This is a skill that you can learn. And it does take a little bit of time, so you're worth it. Put the time into this, because this little skill can really change your habitual path in your life. So you've got this space, you're looking at it, you're breathing into it, and you can imagine the most beautiful light going into it, or anything that brings you joy. Put this joyful imagery into the energy of that thought. Then, as you're doing that, watch it. Watch the way you're feeling. Is there any sensation in your body? Did anything relax a little bit? Did it spread out a little bit? Did it move? Did you feel a little bit, even a tiny amount of relief from the energy that was housed in that thought? Even the tiniest of changes in the way you are feeling is important, because that teaches you something, that you can do this, and it is real. You can grab a thought, find out where it is, surround it with love and light, and or anything else that brings you joy. Thoughts of joy, surround it with that, and look for changes that happen. As you do this more often to that same thought, you will realize that it releases its hold on you, because you're slowly replacing that personality self-memory of it with all of that energy, the negative energy, and you're replacing it with exciting, upward flowing, joy-filled energy. And your personality self goes, well, I guess I could do that. So you see, it's not married to the negative flow from that thought. It just likes to feel. It likes to have an energy to cling on to and feel alive. So what we're doing is replacing those negative thoughts, those negative vibes, with something that is uplifting. And because you and I have the habit of doing this in our head over and over and over, that stands to reason that this new habit will take some time to develop. You can get very quick results from this, and then you may find that it snaps right back into the old thought. So in other words, this window of joy opened up on that thought, or on that energy. Remember, we're looking at the energy behind the thought. And you go, wow, this is cool. Whoop, and it goes away. That was successful. Run with it. Hey, I did it. Who cares that it only lasted a few seconds? This stuff works. And then you go back and you play with it some more. Is it less dense the next time you go by and play with it? Maybe it is. Maybe it doesn't have quite the same amount of hold onto you. Did it weaken it? Is it staying longer when you play with this energy? The upward flowing energy is getting to be more attractive to the personality self, the ego, than this negative downward flowing energy. As you find this energy, you may find hidden parts to it that you didn't even know existed. In other words, you may learn why you wanted to play with it in the first place. It's all a blessing. because you're learning about yourself and you're growing into the person that can walk a path of inner peace. The reason that you and I have this habit is that it was what we saw in our world around us. You know, we weren't taught, oh, those things do happen, sweetheart, but don't play with it. Let's do this, You can make that bigger, or you can make this energy bigger. We didn't learn that from our caregivers. They probably didn't know it either. But we need to be persistent with the idea of these thoughts will come, these feelings will come, because I'm a very powerful person. I create those, I bring them into my awareness, into my sight. And now with this new skill, I can slowly take those negative, gut-wrenching thoughts, find the energy behind them, expand that into the light, and let it dissipate over time. I'm creating an environment that is joy-filled, and I'll have a lot of room in my awareness, in my environment, for thoughts, energy that brings me upward rather than pulling me downward. I want to lose the desire to get stimulated from bad stuff. As you are finding the thought energy behind what was bringing you down, understand that your power, part of your power, is getting into the awareness of that energy. That's such a big step. Acknowledging that that thought has a lot of energy, and the energy behind that is changeable. I am powerful. I can change my perception of how I want to feel at any given moment. I can take that energy and expand it and bless it and send it on its way. I do not judge myself. I love myself enough to learn this new skill. The skill of listening to your thoughts, judging whether or not that's a thought that brings you up or it's a thought that brings you down. And if it is bringing you down, stop and look at it and go, gee, I don't like that. I want to feel good. I'm going to expose that to light, the energy behind the thought. We create how we feel in any given moment. You are a master. You've been a master. You're just now changing the direction of your attention to be a master in a different direction. The skills are so powerful. I hope some of this resonated with you. Join me again in another video. Love and light. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.